can weed dependency make it difficult for you to process your feelings and emotions naturally? What do I mean by that? I know that many of us, when we feel stressed, anxious, or low, even depressed, will turn to going and getting high as a way for us to find temporary relief. And there's nothing wrong with that, except when that is the only way that you know how to deal with your emotions. Over time, it's going to make it really hard for you to manage your emotions naturally without weed in your sober, normal state. So let's talk about this a bit more. Why could that be? Well, one of the things you have to consider is when you are consuming weed a whole lot, it interferes with the way you process your emotions and feelings in a healthy way. Why? Well, because when weed is in your system, it affects the way your brain processes information. It affects the way you process emotions, which is again information for your brain. When weed is in your system, it actually alters your brain chemistry. It changes the way your mood is and your perception and your behavior, because all of those are linked, right? Your mood changes the way you feel about life and what you see it as, and that affects the things you do. And sometimes that can make it difficult for you to understand what really is baseline without added things. So you don't know how to regulate your regular emotions, and that can have a very negative impact on your overall well-being. Another downside of this is when you're heavily dependent on weed is there are studies that show links between mental health problems such as anxiety and depression and heavy use of marijuana. And these things can make it even harder for you to process your emotions. So if you're already struggling with anxiety and or depression or both, you may find it difficult for you to recognize and respond to these emotions in a constructive way. And that can lead you into a spiral of more negative emotions, more behaviors that are negative to try to temporarily relieve that state, like smoking more weed. And it can be very difficult to break out of that cycle and that loop. What do you do? If you're struggling with weed dependency or having difficult time processing your thoughts and your emotions and your feelings, it is important for you to find a way to fix your mental health. And that could be professional help, going to someone who deals with these as a day-to-day professional, and maybe they can help you understand what the root cause of your behavior is. You can watch some of my other videos where I talk about my journey with this process, because this is something I found myself into several years ago when I was under a very high stress situation and I didn't have a good family support system, at least in my near proximity, and I found myself using weed to cope with a lot of it, and over time it affected many of the things that I shared with you in this video. So I know what it feels like, and I did seek help. One of the things that did help me was meditation and understanding the power of gratitude and understanding how having a routine and a ritual daily is super important. I knew that a while back, but I obviously lost my ways and found myself off track. So if you're in this situation now, please do not feel discouraged. Hit me up. If you need any support or help, get into the Better Yourself Discord group, and I would love to talk to you.